What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video, I'm going to dive right into the bugs, quote unquote, that are plaguing Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm going to do a brutal truth about what you're seeing on YouTube. Now, the first thing that I want to say is I actually had to search YouTube to see what bugs were going on in the game, because I personally am not experiencing them while I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077. Now, with that said, I have seen some bugs in the game. My gameplay is not flawless. It is not totally bug-free. However, the bugs that I have run into are not game-breaking. It may be immersion-breaking, but not game-breaking. I've seen the floating cigarettes or the invisible cigarettes. I've seen floating suitcases, one of which I actually had to go through a door and kind of duck through a door in order to continue in a main mission. But something that I really want to focus on in this video is that my gameplay experience is different from other people's gameplay experience, and you have to understand that. So my recommendation right off the bat is definitely dive into the specs of the system that you're playing on. Whether you're playing on console or whether you're playing on PC, it doesn't matter. You need to look at the gameplay that somebody else has with a similar system. And I think that anybody that is posting glitch videos and talking about glitch videos should have their computer specs in the description of their video. I, for one, am going to put my computer specs in the description of this video so that you know what I am running hardware-wise in order to display the game the way that I'm displaying it, or in order to not have the bugs that people are talking about all across social media. Now, having bugs in games is nothing new in the gaming industry. Yes, it has affected one of the most hyped games probably of this decade. Cyberpunk 2077 was highly anticipated, and the players created the hype behind 2077. Now, with that said, there's nothing wrong with having high expectations for really any game that's launching now. We should have high expectations, and we should expect creators to really follow through on promises. Now, the thing about Cyberpunk 2077 is, yes, it launched with more bugs than any of us expected to, and on consoles, it's probably worse than anywhere else. However, CD Projekt Red is a decent game developer. They have a very good reputation of making sure that their games are solid, which means that my expectation moving forward is that they follow through on that promise. And I think what we're seeing from them, both on social media and their apology that they posted, is that they plan to support it and they plan to fix the issues that we're seeing in game. Now, I do think that as gamers, we do have a responsibility to understand what can be fixed by software and what is simply a hardware issue. And when we get into the older generation consoles, really PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are last gen consoles at this point in time, I think we have to understand that there's only so much that software can do. Beyond that, without being able to upgrade that hardware, it's only going to get so good. And I think this puts game developers in a very hard situation, because how do you optimize a game for PlayStation 4 original generation console and a PC that has the 3090 in it, or the 3080 in it, or the 3070 in it? How do you go that far in technology and optimize on both sides? And I think it's also important to remember how old PlayStation 4 and Xbox is. We're talking about a 7-year-old piece of equipment being able to run a game that is just developed and wanting that to look like you're running the best possible specs on a PC. It's just not going to happen. Now, in my mind, the expectation shouldn't be that the graphic quality is ray trace quality and it's the most amazing thing that you've ever seen on PC. However, I do think that the bugs, the falling through the world, the cars just randomly exploding, NPCs just dying, or all the different things that have been reported and shown on YouTube that I could find when I was kind of doing research, painstakingly doing the research to look at what things were actually happening in the game. Those things need to be fixed, and I think CD Projekt Red can get that done. I have faith that they will. Now allow me to switch gears a little bit here, and I want to talk about the hype train. I want to talk about what you guys are seeing on YouTube, across YouTube really, when it comes to people talking about bugs in CD Projekt Red. Some of that is actual real reports of people having problems with the game. However, a lot of what I was finding when I was going through YouTube videos was just people jumping on the hype train. They know that right now everyone is searching bugs in Cyberpunk 2077. So why not jump on that hype train, make a video about the bugs? However, when I was watching those videos, what I saw was not gameplay of bugs. What I saw was gameplay that was perfectly fine. And like what I'm showing you on the screen right now is mainly bug-free. We had that one guy right there where he disappeared when I picked him up, but then this one's perfectly fine. But you have to be aware that some people are hyping it up just to hype it up. If I know that I can upload a video that's going to get 100,000 views because I rip on the game and I jump on the bandwagon or the hype train of the buggy mess that Cyberpunk 2077 is, then that's money in my pocket. However, if I have a different outlook on it and I say, you know what, yeah, there's some bugs in Cyberpunk 2077, but overall, the gameplay is pretty solid, I'm not going to get as many views on my video because I'm not jumping on that hype train and I'm not using keywords that are highly clicked on for videos on YouTube. And this absolutely is not a new phenomenon. It's not something that is only Cyberpunk 2077. If you watch YouTube on a regular basis and you see what kind of things get attention, it really does come down to those titles that give a negative outlook. Even if the commentary doesn't end up being negative, those negative things do get more attention on YouTube. And we're seeing that across the board with Cyberpunk 2077 right now. Now, I'm not faulting you for clicking on a video that said Cyberpunk 2077 is a buggy mess and you should avoid it, because I think it's important to understand what you're spending your money on. It's also important to understand what kind of gameplay experience you're going to have when or if you get the game. And a title that gives you an emotional feeling like, hey, I really need to know this information in order to make a conscious decision about this game is definitely going to trigger something in you. I know I've done it myself where I've watched videos about games that I absolutely love, but they say, oh, don't do this or avoid this because it could mess up your gameplay. And when I watch those videos, normally I'm left unfulfilled. However, I still watch it because if that's actually something that is really, really good information, key information for my gameplay, then I need to have that information. So what's the point that I'm trying to get to here? Basically, don't take everything that you see as law. Go to a lot of different videos, find people that you can trust in the gaming realm that are uploading content and not putting a whole lot of personal feelings behind that game. You should also understand that just like this video, this is an opinion. Just like any other video or review that you're watching, it's an opinion. It's that person's perspective on that game. So with their equipment, with their setup, with their gaming experience, that is the information that you're grasping. And out of that information, you have to make a decision on your own. Now, I will be posting my personal review of Cyberpunk 2077 in the next couple of days. However, I wanted to get this video out there because of the massive amount of hate that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting right now based on the quote-unquote glitches. And honestly, like I said, I haven't been experiencing these with my system. Now, does that mean that you need to upgrade? Maybe. It may be a scenario where you need to upgrade your PC. It may also be a scenario where you just have to lower the settings for your graphics. I know one thing that really helped me out was changing the crowd density. When I did that in my game, it made a huge difference to the stability of the gameplay. And I'll go ahead and link that video in the top right hand corner of this video and in the description in case you are not sure how to change that setting. Now, at the end of the day, with all of this stuff with Cyberpunk 2077 and CG Project Red and the glitches and the bugs and everything that's going on, I'm always going to side with the gamer. But I do think we need to understand the standpoint that the game developers are coming from, what they're able to achieve in-game with just the software, and what limitations there are with the hardware. But I'm hopeful that CD Projekt Red can use this situation as an opportunity to prove what their reputation actually is, which is that they are a good developer and that they stand behind the community. But honestly, I'm kind of excited to see how they handle the situation going forward. I think they've started and they're doing a good job so far. What's really going to matter is if they're able to work on and fix these bugs across all the different platforms going forward. And if they can do that, I'll absolutely put my stamp or my seal of approval on Cyberpunk 2077. For the record, I am having a lot of fun playing the game, even with the minor things that I'm running into. So like I said earlier on in the video, we all have different experiences. I want to know what your experience with Cyberpunk 2077 is in the comment section below. And that's all I have for this video, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. You can pick one of the other videos coming up on the screen to watch next. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. I'll catch you next time. Peace. The whack moments in this video were sponsored by my legendary supporters. Thank you very much. If you'd like to sponsor a future whack moment, you can click the button below that says join. That'll give you all the details. I'd like to thank all my subscribers for their continued support, likes, comments, and general awesomeness. If you're not subscribed, you can start your free trial today and cancel at any time. And if you're not finished watching, there's 2 videos to pick from.